you want to go to college and you have a job, but Beachbody. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emma, as you can probably guess, or at least you have a limited range of guesses, from the world's coziest jumper, which I'm wearing. Today we're going to have a look at some team calls. I'm pretty sure they're for Thrive. I say pretty sure because the woman who's running them, I guess, is the head of this group. You know, these are her, what are they called? Not underlings. Downline. These are her downline. And even on her public Facebook page, it just says entrepreneur. You know, none of the posts actually say what the product or the company is, which is really, really common for these kind of things. But I'm pretty sure it's Thrive, but don't hold me to that. I pretty much just found the latest team call that has been posted. I was just curious to see what they actually talk about, because as far as I've encountered, it's just like a lot of fluff. I mean, they have these every week, right? Or like roughly every week. And they have team calls with different people and meetings, and how much is there to talk about? Like, I'm assuming a lot of it is just filler and buzzwords, right? It must be. So I'm interested to see what is here. I have flicked through a little bit of it and found a couple of non-surprising problems, so this will be interesting. Oh, and by the way, before we begin, we're getting pretty close to my ultimate goal of 666 subscribers, and most people who watch these videos don't actually subscribe. It's non-subscribers that make up the core part of my audience. So hey, if you're here and you're finding this interesting, maybe think about doing a subscribe. So they start with just a lot of
October 28th,
announcements. Hello.
Quick
Here we are.
Pre-workout.
Oh, this is probably important.
30th.
I have obviously blurred out the faces. It's like a really goofy looking witness protection thing. So I know it's kind of stupid. And this was posted publicly. I found it in like 10 seconds. So it's not like it's secret or stolen or whatever. It's publicly available. And, you know, they're in an MLM and selling products, so they all have personal pages. But I don't know who these women are. This video had 0 views. Even this woman who appears to be the head of this group, her public Facebook page had like 30 likes. So they're not, I don't think they could constitute a public figure, and therefore I think it's just nicer to blur their faces, because I don't know these women. They're just cogs in the wheel, you know?
That is it for announcements.
I think you should put your phone on silent when you're in a Zoom call. That's just me.
Because it teaches you later on how to run your own groups, because eventually, you know, my goal is to have everybody running their own groups.
My goal is to have everybody running their own groups. Her goal is to have everybody below her be a group leader, because then she's got a bigger downline. I'm just saying. It's not about sales. It's not about sales.
We talk about what coaching is not, how coaching has benefited us, what we do as coaches. So like every day we'll cover a different topic. Somebody will go live in there, talk about your coaching journey, how you started as a coach, what you love about coaching. You can even maybe talk about some of the struggles, just to be real. And
they love talking about the struggles. They love to be real. You've probably seen people in MLMs sharing just really, really personal stuff about their health and their families and their children. They love using like tragedy and realness. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being open about your life, but being emotionally open to vulnerable groups so that people who identify with you might consider joining your pyramid scheme, that's less cool.
So that's one way to do a coach sneak peek. And basically we'll be inviting to that through people that we talk to for the coaching opportunity, because the goal here is to build our team. We build our team, we build our business, and therefore the income comes with that.
There it is. We build our team, we build our income. It is not about sales. It is 0% about sales. It's not about sales. It's about recruiting. It's 100% about recruiting. It's about making these groups. It's about convincing other people to become coaches so that they can recruit people, so that you can build a big downline, so that your income can increase. They say it in their team calls. It's about what's the definition of a pyramid scheme again? Remind me.
But if you have them on Zoom, you have their attention. So I'm open to thoughts on that.
I like the webinar
The
too.
webinar, Francesca.
I'm more of a video person because I
She
like
sounds
talking
really
better
young.
than typing.
Yeah.
She sounds super
So I feel
young.
like
I feel like this girl is younger than me for sure.
I'll write up like a little script, and obviously you want it to be in your words. Somebody that you want to invite to it, maybe like an idea of how you're going to talk about the coach webinar, because I know you guys.
So this is another fresh and feisty example of things that everybody in MLM does. Like, it's so cliche, is that the right word? It doesn't even matter what MLM company it is, they all do exactly the same things. She's giving them, because they've never done it before, she's giving them scripts. So she probably got a script back in the day, and that's what hers has evolved from. And put it in your own words, but they'll all be saying basically the same thing to the people that they invite, who will learn from that, who will say the same thing to the people that they invite. The way they discuss having people to invite, having it's something to invite people to, or it's something to invite to, I think they say. They kind of shorten it because invite is like MLM slang that means sending people DMs and things, asking them to join the scheme, but in a sneakier way. And they have no they have no plan for what they're gonna talk about yet. They don't even, there's no like, this is some useful information that we really want to share to people who are already interested in. It's like, what's a thing we can put on that sounds good, that we'll work out the details of later, that is something we can invite people to get them to join the business and join the downline. It's just about coaching. There's nothing about, I mean, fair enough, this is specifically clearly what this call is about, but I didn't see anything on her YouTube page about, like, the products, or it's like just manifestation and inviting people to shitty webinars.
That'll give them the opportunity to at least see, and then we always have an incentive at the end of it. So that's Wednesday. If you sign up by Saturday, you can decide as an individual coach what their incentive will be. So
Incentive,
maybe
like
you want to
discounts?
do $20 in freebies, or
$20.
an energy, whatever you want to do. I'll say whoever your coach has an incentive for you, message your coach privately when you're ready to sign up, or if you're ready to sign up by Saturday or whatever, and they'll tell you what the incentive is. And we can all decide, maybe you just want to do a $5 Amazon gift card if that's your thing. It's completely up to you. Nobody has to do the same thing.
Okay, I have loads to say about this. When I was, and I've mentioned this a bunch of times on my channel, I've never been able to actually share the information because nothing happens transparently in this country to do with, like, consumer protection. But whatever. When I was researching this scammy company, this coaching company, which is actually a front for Kangen water, getting people in your shitty Kangen water downline. I'm sorry, I keep saying shitty. I mean, I try not to swear so much. I came across this phenomenon, which is the sign up by such and such and get a discount. And the reason I reported that company to Trading Stat, well, one of the list of reasons I reported that company was that they had a fake, it's this price, today only, but it was the same price every day. These incentives are, like, really, really common in MLMs and scams. They pressure you into acting fast and putting money in without researching so thoroughly, without taking time to talk to other people about it, without taking time to look it up and look up the pitfalls. And they don't want you to talk to anyone else other than them giving you the perfect, ideal dream version of it before you sign up. And then they have your money. And then even if you quit, I guess they've made something. It's super, super common. It's a really predatory tactic. It de-incentivizes proper research and critical thinking. It's just about getting you to drop your cash before you even think about it, before you encounter anything negative that could start to work against you. Discounts and things are, popular. If a product's not selling well, then a company will discount it to try and get people to buy it. Whatever, sales are a thing, but it's this rush incentive. It's this, we'll come to the webinar, and if you sign up by Saturday, then you get this whatever bonus. It gives you this, like, tiny window of, oh god, I really need to think about it. Well, maybe I'll just do it, because then at least I get this discount or I get this gift, and then I can, like, properly get into it later. So yeah, okay, this is what I was going to ask. I don't know how applying discounts comes out when it's not a company-wide thing. If it's just this person's, say it's this poor, really young girl that she's talking to, who I think is, like, currently in education, but say she was like, okay, I'm going to do a $5 Amazon discount card. Doesn't that just come out of her pocket? It sounds really expensive to recruit people if you're having to give everyone a $5 gift card. I don't know if there's any like cash bonuses in this company for recruiting people that offsets the cost of giving people special discounts and like gift cards and things. It seems like it shouldn't cost money to get people into your team. I don't know, maybe I'm weird. Oh my god, it's Beachbody. It's Beachbody. I feel so stupid. It's because they had videos of calls called like Thrive to Survive, but no, it's Beachbody. I apologize. What they're saying now makes a lot of sense, and I also now understand why there is somebody drinking a shake out of a cup. It's Beachbody. Okay.
To hold called.
Oh my god, there's so many meetings.
Meeting. So basically, we'll have quick little Zoom call. We could always do it after our team call. Set our goals for that week and say, okay, this week, I'm at Success Club 4. By next week, I want to be at Success Club 6. The following week, we're going to meet and we're going to hold each other accountable to that, because when we're holding each other accountable to the things that we want to accomplish.
So you've got to have your accountability meeting. You've got to have your power hours. Don't know, that seems to be like once a week actually led, and the rest of the week they sit in silence together. That's creepy. So that's at least 2. And then your whatever this is, and then they're holding webinars. That's a huge commitment. This is supposed to be a side hustle, and it's taking up like half of my imaginary life already.
Like, if you're committed to being successful, you have to commit to the time. You have to commit to
a lot of time.
Setting goals and holding yourself accountable. I want anybody who is a coach to at least be emerald. Anybody who's emerald to at least be diamond, which is totally doable.
What does that mean?
We have all of November and all of December. That's 8 weeks. And if you're doing the things, there's no way that in 8 weeks you shouldn't hit that next goal.
There's no way.
Even right now at Coach, if you put the time in, and I know you have finals and all of that, but again, this is a business, a vehicle to really build an income, to really build a business.
I know you have finals and everything. That's how young the people in this group are. I know you're like trying to graduate and have an education or whatever, but you really need to focus on your Beachbody business instead. I told you this girl looked young.
And I know, like you go to school, Francesca has her job, and you want to get a job when you get out of school, and that's fabulous, and I love that. But wouldn't it be nice to have 2 incomes? Then you're going out and getting a job, to say, oh, I have to get a job because I need medical benefits. I don't really need the money, but the money's nice type of thing. And it's good to love your job. Like, there's so many people that love their jobs, and I love that. But who doesn't love more money,
She says it like, well, first of all, okay. She says it like it's a guarantee that you'll make so much money that you won't even need a job, and that, if you do have another job, it's just for fun and because you don't get medical benefits with this whatever. First of all, she says that it's just, you will just make so much money that it's a full-time income, which I think is, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just not allowed, right? I guess she's only implying or saying if you use the tools that I am sharing with you, then you will succeed and make a full-time income. What the fuck ever. But also being like, I know you have, like, you want to go to college and you have a job, but Beachbody. If you're just a person that is like, okay, I really want to make sure I'm accountable for working out while I'm studying, because that will help you study and that'll boost your, endorphins, and that's a really good thing to do while you're studying or working, is making sure you keep doing exercise. But this isn't about that. This is about how to get as many people under you as possible so that you can become an emerald person and make this lady a bigger downline. That's what it's about. It's about having 50 meetings a week so that you can invite people to things, and how to use Instagram well to try and get people to join. It's like, it's a huge time commitment. I mean, that's probably why she feels comfortable in saying, if you do this, you will definitely become this rank and make this income. Because almost certainly if anybody fails or drops out, she can probably quite comfortably say, they didn't do everything I asked of them. And it's because you can't do all of that while you're studying, while you're at school, while you have another full-time job. There's just no way. You'd be so burnt out. You wouldn't be able to sleep in order to fit all of this in. And I know that all the coaches would be like, all I did is just about, just, you know, don't have a social life or whatever. Just work from your phone anywhere. And that's bullshit, because that's not healthy. Frankly, that's just, it's not healthy.
That's the only way this works, is if you hold yourself accountable. You know, like, you wouldn't not show up for class. You're going to class because your goal is to graduate in those 4 years. I know my mom was like, if you don't graduate in 4 years, you're on your own after that. And I'm like, oh, 21 credits one semester. So it's
okay. I mean, while we're bragging, my master's degree is in shop. Whatever, joking about that little, like, brag aside, again, it's not about the brag. I don't think that's anything to do with ego for this woman. I think that's very much what I was just talking about, which is I did this and that, and, you know, you can fit it in. She basically says, you know, if you're showing up to school, then you should be showing up to this, you know? It's like, you wouldn't skip class. It's like, well, this isn't class. This is described as a flexible income, right? It's supposed to be your business. You should be able to put in as much or as little as you want, but she's saying you have to put in this much or it won't happen, which is true. You have to put in that much of your, I mean, the truth is you can put in that much and it can still not happen, but you have to work it like it's a full-time job. And if you're, like, in the process of trying to graduate, if you're in college, like, there's no fucking time. You can get in a part-time job if you work really hard and you look after yourself and you make time to be social and stuff. There's no fucking way you would have the time for that if you were doing all these calls and all these accountability checks. It's like, your accountability is, am I putting half my life into this business that I thought would be a nice extra while I'm busy doing other things? It's like, no, you have to commit to this 100%, and everything else in your life is like, just work it around Beachbody. I just feel so bad for, I've just knocked my dinosaur. I have a dinosaur skeleton I got for Halloween. But obviously it lives here forever now because Halloween never ends in this flat. I feel really bad for, and clearly there's a couple of, like, young women, like, seriously, like, I'm 25 and I feel like, to me, these feel like children. Like, they've got to be, like, 18, right? I don't know what you can work from 16 in the UK. I don't know what it's like in the US, if it's like a state-by-state thing. I don't actually know. But they feel young, right? And they're basically being brainwashed by this, you can make it if you do what we tell you to. And so they're just gonna think that if they fail, they're just not working hard enough, and they're gonna dedicate, I mean, I hope that they won't. I hope that they get out. But assuming they follow this woman's advice, they're going to spend half their life fighting to make this business work and pushing their other stuff by the wayside because that's what they're being told to do, and they're being told that that's the only way. You know, that's just hard work. That's the only way that you're going to be successful, is by doing ridiculous overworking, but that's what they're telling you is just hard work, you know, and it's worked for me, and it's worked for these other, you know, he's the other diamond super queen ambassadors, what the fuck ever they're called. And so clearly we did it, and so you can do it if you just do what we say. The other thing nobody mentions in calls like these, when they're talking about getting as many people to join as possible, there's like a level of market saturation that means that, like, they cannot all be successful because there aren't enough people. This is why a pyramid scheme is not that I'm saying this is a pyramid scheme, using an analogy. This is why a pyramid scheme falls apart, and that's why this recruiting structure eventually has to come to an end, because it's mathematically impossible. If you successfully recruit people and they become coaches and then they recruit people, eventually there's no more people, because let's not forget we are like selling things. This is supposed to be about sales, right? You're selling workout programs, shakes, fucking, I don't know. You're essentially recruiting your customers into being your competitors, and so then you all have to keep reaching out and finding new, they always say, like, there's always a new audience, there's always new customers to be found. And it's like, eventually there's just not. And people have been doing it for so long that there's just less and less. You're like waiting for people to be born at this point to fucking grow old enough to be a customer of yours. It just doesn't work. MLM doesn't work.
With effort, diamond is absolutely doable. And
exactly
anybody who hits diamond on this team by the end of the year is going to get a really nice prize.
And she's doing the incentive thing on them. She's just taught them about how to incentivize people. And she's doing it on them in the same video. You know, make sure you get people into like watching the things and then signing up by offering them a little something. And then she's like, and by the way, I'll offer you a little something if you become diamond by this month. You'll get a little something. I know it's very generous. People are like, oh, stop buying me presents. That's actually what she says. I'll play that in a second. She's doing the tactics that she's teaching them on them, and nobody's like, are we the suckers?
Because that's my love language. I like
it's her love language.
Like, you know,
she loves you.
Every time she hits Success Club, she gets something. Kayleen, anybody who hits Success Club on my team gets something. And she's like, stop buying me gifts. And I'm like, that's just like how I say thank you for working hard. Thank you for being an awesome person on my team. That's just my love language.
Yeah, thank you. I'm just so grateful for you being an awesome person. It's not because you're making me money and I want to incentivize you to keep making me money.
But if you do have big goals, you have to remember big goals require big action. So, you know, there's a lot of people who said, yeah, I want to be a coach. They're like, this business doesn't work. Well, have you been working the business? And a lot of the times they're like, well, kind of, you know, I kind of put a power hour in. You don't kind of, just like for you, I'm not saying that this is you, but like, for example, you don't kind of show up to class for half the semester and expect to, you know, pass the final. You have to show up every single day.
Not that I'm saying don't show up to class, but that's not strictly true. Like, sometimes you're sick or whatever. You can afford to not show up sometimes because, you know, there's support networks in place for that. I'm just saying, don't be afraid of missing a single event in your entire life because that means you're a failure. Which is, I guess, what this woman is implying. I'm sure she would say that that's not what she's saying, but if you kind of read between the lines. So this is, like, exactly what I was just saying. She's just given me the greatest gift of all by doing it and demonstrating immediately afterwards the attitude that if you fail, it's just your fault and you don't work hard enough. To use her school analogy, it's like if you were being harassed by your teacher for not showing up to class enough or doing enough homework when you were trying to sign up for an evening class because you've got a full-time job already. That's the equivalent here, right? Like, Beachbody is supposed to be that evening class while you live your normal life. There's no way. And she's just given herself the golden out of anyone who fails didn't work hard enough, or it wasn't for them, or they had other commitments that they decided were more important and they couldn't give enough time to the business. It's just whatever. At the same time, they're marketing the business to these other people that they're inviting as something easy and flexible, something that you're in control of. It's your business. You can run it how you want. And then as soon as they get them in, it's like, girl, if you don't commit to this 100% and show up to all these calls every week and do power hours and accountability buddies, and so that, you know, you're getting told off and we're creating a feeling of guilt if you don't put this much time into the business, then you'll fail. And that's not my fault. That's it's not the structure is evil. You didn't work 80 hours this week, you know? That's like the vibe.
And then I have a customer hot list, people who are interested
She's mentioned
in joining
customers.
the challenge group or the programs or whatever it is, anything except coaching. And I run through that list at the end of the month. You know, it could be people I spoke to at the beginning of the month. It could be people I spoke to at the end of last month that maybe I haven't touched base with, or I have and they still weren't ready. And then I will say, like, hey, you know, last day before my November group kicks off, or before the $20 for MBF goes away. And that's the incentive.
No means no. Right? Like, you've seen these people harassing in the DMs, right? And you've seen people say, I would never do that, my MLM's not like that. And then you watch internal calls for motivating teams and telling coaches how to do their job, and it's totally advocated for. It's like somebody said no, or they weren't ready. I don't know what that means. But so you spoke to somebody, you know, a month ago, and they said no, so get your incentive out of your back pocket and start harassing them again. Just leave them alone. They don't want to be part of your shitty MLM. Alright, that was it. I feel like I've deflated like a balloon. I mean, it really speaks for itself. It's teaching people that if they fail, it's their fault. They have to put in these ridiculous hours if they're ever going to make money out of it. But then if they do all that, they'll be getting fancy cars, or it'll be like a full-time salary. Telling people how to invite people to become coaches. It's about building as big a downline as possible. They mentioned customers in the last 1 minute of the whole call, and I think that kind of sums it up. So yeah, that was a Beachbody call. Thank you so much for watching. Do like this video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to share. Maybe if you have Beachbody friends, just give it a subtle share. I mean, I think people who are inside this are inside it, right? You're listening to this thinking that these are the golden words that are your ticket to financial success, and that sucks, but it is what it is. So I'll say again, thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Do subscribe if you aren't subscribed already so that you don't miss the next one, and I will see you very soon.